So that all sounds pretty expensive, but obviously it isn't. For example, we met OPLink. They were a startup. They were using this thing called Google, which you may have heard of, and their experience of that was that security actually wasn't really up to scratch at all. They couldn't find things very well, and they couldn't be confident that security I mentioned earlier was actually right. They would love to be able to spend a bunch of money on IT, but in fact they had bigger priorities. They had to get offices set up, they had to get marketing campaigns underway, they had to get au pairs lined up, they had all these other priorities that they had to do, and IT really wasn't there. They had basically had to run their business. So we introduced them to Office 365. They were able to immediately start to use that exchange mail to see where each person was at, to work collaboratively, to share those files, and getting them onto SharePoint was a really big gain. They started to build some workflows, no significant cost. We just simply spent a couple of days training them how to use it. It wasn't that long, wasn't that hard, and they just took it from there. And in fact, we've got a great video on our BA365 Co.NZ website where they explain their story right there. But essentially, using Office 365, they were able to grow to become the biggest firm in New Zealand of their kind, all with no real IT investment at all, even though IT is critical to their business. Another one of my clients is a small two-person law firm up on Shorten Street. They just wanted reliable calendar sharing. They just simply wanted to be able to say, hey, we're available here or there for meetings. That was all they were after. Couldn't possibly begin to justify a server for two people. But with Office 365, we were able to give them that power and that capability just for a few dollars a month. It was extremely easy, and in addition to that, all their emails now backed up. They've got anti-spam that was previously beyond their reach, and they're getting a fantastic outcome just from that. We've rolled this into some charities. One of our charities, again on that website I've mentioned, BA365 Co.NZ, were able to invest in SharePoint, and they got a 10-to-1 return on investment. So we spent a bit of time and effort building some systems for them. They got, for every dollar they spent with us, they got $10 back in administration savings and in lost revenue that we found for them. So that was pretty fantastic. We've done a number of charities now on the basis of that, and we've rolled this into schools so they're able to, for example, extend services out to students without having to invest in server farms and expensive backups and the like. It's easier to scale as well. You simply buy a number of licenses. If you need more, you can add them. If you've got seasonal workers, you're able to simply delete users as you no longer require, and at the same time you know that all of those users have access to the latest version of Microsoft Office. So one of my clients is an engineering advisory firm called Intent Group, and they've got contractors working together on projects all around New Zealand. Their workforce comes and goes based on project demand. They're able to give those contractors access to all of their corporate tools, all of which happen to be Office 365 tools. They all have the latest version of Office while they're engaged on that contract. As soon as the contract expires, we take them off, they go away, Intent, as costs come down while that project's finished, and then when they need to scale up again, they just simply add them back on, and away they go. I mentioned Dog Guru earlier on, and that's very much the case there as well. A seasonal workforce able to bring on trainers as and when they need to. And it can be quite hard to know that you're compliant with your licensing. But with Office 365, if you're on one of the plans, E3 or E4 plans that include, we can help you work out which plans to be on, one of the plans that includes a license, you just simply have a license per user. I've got 10 users, I've got 10 licenses, one for each of those users, and in fact those users can install that license on up to 5 different machines, so that should be enough for anyone. They can have a license on their PC at work, their Apple iThingy, laptop, or whatever else that they need to do. With Office 365 you get what Microsoft call the Pro Plus license, which is the basically the full noise one, the premier version of Office. So that gives you Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, which we all know, but a couple of things you may not know, like OneNote. It gives you Publisher, Access, InfoPath, SharePoint Workspace, and Link, which of course you're using now to view this webinar. One of the other things it gives you is something called Office Web Apps, and that's where if you're using a machine that Office can't run on, for example an iPad, you're able to run Office from within the web browser itself. So in the case of the iPad, it's Safari, you can log on to that and actually do basic document editing, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. from an iPad, which is pretty neat. It means also that you don't have to worry about some people are using an older version of Office, some people are using 2003, some are using 2007, some are using 2010. If your users are all in Office 365, they're all entitled to use, provided your plan includes it of course, they're entitled to use the latest version of Office, so you can be certain everyone's on the latest flavour of Office. If you need help with that, our computer coaches are also ready and willing to assist. So I mentioned those different plans of Office a second or two ago. There's plans E1 through to E4, and there's a tick box there which tells you what's included in which ones. Is that it runs from between $12.25 per person per month right up to the full version at $35 per user per month. So the numbers are pretty modest. It's not there's certainly no major cost involved in getting all of that great functionality. It's all billed monthly or annually depending on the particular plan you choose. You can scale up or down as you need to, and Microsoft keep giving you the updates as they come to hand, so you're always on the latest version.